40,000 subscriber special stream. Sweet. There we go. Lovely. Top chat, let's get it in. See how the sound is. Test, 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 test. Lovely. Top chat, let's get it in. See how the sound is. Test, 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 test. Sound is good. Sorry if you had to wait. Let's stick this as its own separate tab. Get the live chat up. And let's share the link around. So go onto Twitter. All right, live streaming. Now come ask me stuff if you want. Come ask me about the Sigma male grind. Alright, stick this in Discord and then we're good to go. Maybe put it on my Instagram. Oof. I've got this one mosquito in my room and just keeps flying around, fucking biting me. Alright, let me just grab it for Insta and then, yeah, but feel free, if you're here already, feel free to ask me questions or just write anything and then hopefully I'll write it out. Also, like the stream as well. That always helps, just to see, get other people to see it, so that will be helpful. All right, cropping this photo. Oh, I need to play some music out my headphones as well. But yeah, I hope everyone's good. I was actually, because I normally make 3 videos a week, but I spent so long on that Amazing Atheist one, which is like 51 minutes long, and it just took me so long. I just thought, like, I haven't streamed twice in a week in a while, so let's just do it tonight instead. Before I heard a dog, it's just my my headphones moving on the thing. All right, just post on my Insta story. Live stream celebration. Live stream being about 40k, come and ask me stuff. Link to channel in bio. Alright, that's the promotion taken care of. Alright, there we go. So it's charging, yep. Let's play some music quick. Do you ever like it when you find out your favourite bands have like collabed and you didn't know about it? I always love finding that out. Also, so I got my coffee, custard coffee, mix of hot chocolate, and I got one of these Jaffa Cake donut things. I might not eat that. Instead, I might eat vegan Kit Kat, which I found for 20p. I don't know if it's out of date or something. 20p in the shop. I bought a bunch of them. Don't know if it's any good. But yeah, I was going to make a video about that like Hassan Piker thing. You know, like Twitch stream copyright stuff. Because I had my own experience, obviously, on this platform. So I wanted to talk about it. But then I was looking through the drama, and the person who was involved in the drama made like a 3-hour stream on it. And I was like, I ain't got time to watch another like 3 hours of videos. It's not like the Abby Shapiro video again, or what's the one? Amazing Atheist, or Anita Sarkeesian, or John Tron. I don't have time to watch 3 hours of stuff. It was also like 11:30 anyway at night. So So let's have a look at some comments. The mosquito's not a comrade, definitely not. Got the iconic sunnies on. Well, here in the chat, if you're really old school, if you've been here forever, you will remember me wearing these instead. If you're in the chat and you remember me wearing these on stream, put F. If you're really old school, I used to wear these on stream. I've got good taste in glasses, I guess. I don't like wearing these ones, but it's better for my eyes and the screen and stuff. Could you sing some Wurzel songs? I don't know what that is. History of says, congrats on the 40k, you totally deserve it. Thanks so much, man. I assume you're a man because of your profile picture. Thanks a lot. Opinions on the Batman 2022. It looks pretty cool. Like Colin Farrell as Penguin looks interesting. Robert Pattinson is a cool actor, despite like the Twilight shit. So I'm cautiously optimistic. 'Cause it's the director of the Planet of the Apes trilogy. So let's see how it goes. Like the Batmobile and his suit look really cool. So I'm hyped about it. I'm optimistic. Dope 40k. Yeah, it is really sick. Like 40k just feels like so nice, like a nice healthy chunk. Whereas like 30 was cool, 20 was cool, even 10 was cool, but like 40 feels like really legit. So I'm really happy about this. Star Wars Meg, how's it going? The only non-toxic Star Wars YouTuber I know. I'm good, thank you. I'm feeling good. What did I do? So yeah, it's been a busy week. Like I stayed up all night last night making my video, but I was gonna go up tonight about Activision Blizzard being run by people who used to run like Abu Ghraib and shit. I'm gonna move that till tomorrow. But yeah, me and my girlfriend went out and got some pizza. She's in like a cast at the moment, so we can't like do too much. Also, heads up, next week all my videos are gonna be filmed at her house, so this little set will be gone. I don't think it will change the quality though. But anyway, we just got the pizza and ate in the car, and it was nice. And then we're going to see Blade Runner double bill tomorrow, so you've got my poster up there. We're going to see the first one and the second one back to back. I saw the second one in the theatres, saw it in IMAX, but I never seen the first one in the cinema, so I'm really hyped about that. Congratulations, thanks very much, Argent. Kennedy, thanks so much. Let's fucking go. Kennedy is one of the old school subscribers. She'll remember the sunglasses. You look cute with the cake in the thumbnail. Thanks. It's actually my cake for 10k, not for 40. My girlfriend got it for me, which is really nice. Congratulations. Thanks, Lawrence. What football team do I support? So I support Manchester United because my dad did. So I'm a big fan of them. But growing up in like London, you have loads of like local cheap teams to go to. You have like QPR, Brentford, Leyton Orient, even like Sutton United if you want. So we used to go, also the football team I used to play with had some sort of like connection because it was local with Brentford. So we always used to go see Brentford. And Brentford were always historically really shit, like League One, League Two, League Three. And recently in the last 6 years, they've gotten really good. So now they're in the Premier League. So now I've got two teams I support in the Premier League, which is weird. I know lots of people say you can't support two different teams, but yeah. I guess I do, and you know I go see Brentford in person like a lot, so that is why I support them. Why is his voice deeper in the streams? Well, like I guess some of you don't tune into streams. When I speak on camera, you've got to project a bit, so it's like today we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z, right? So you hear my voice, I'm projecting my voice, so it's not my natural voice as much. So like. Today we're going to talk about the amazing atheist and how he does X, Y, and Z. Like, it's a bit different. When I'm on stream, I'm talking more casually. I'm not thinking about what I'm saying as much. I'm not projecting and being more expressive for the camera. So it's my natural voice is a bit deeper than the stream one. So there's some inside like baseball for my YouTube video. What you hear when I'm talking on camera isn't necessarily my real voice. I'm a great actor. Progressives are their own worst enemies. Example? Based. Yep, I guess I am. Max Thomas, been watching you for a long time, man, back when you had like a couple hundred subs. Oh, awesome. Max, I've never really seen you in the chat, so I don't really remember. Ethan and Ali remember, sick. Yes, Morpheus. Awesome, a couple you remember. Congrats, Cav. Thanks, Spooky Kitty. I appreciate your support. I know you're a big supporter of mine. What do I think of veganism? This is a good question. So what Rinnegan of Rage says, what do I think of veganism? this is hard for me because I'm not a vegan, but I like totally support the arguments on like an ethical, not even an ethical standard in terms of animals, although I do love animals. It's mainly coming at it from environmental impact. So if you guys don't know, I think it's like 70% of the world's beef comes from South America. And what's been happening in places like Brazil mainly Brazil, is that they've been clearing the Amazon rainforest to make way for cattle ranches for obviously cattle. Cows also like fart out methane gas, which is really bad for like climate change as well. So what you're getting is like a climate sink being taken away and then being replaced by these animals that contribute to global warming. So that's one factor of it, and that's why if we're vegan, we need to get off meat in that capacity because of cattle ranching in places like Brazil. In terms of other aspects, thinking about viruses, coronavirus, where does coronavirus come from? It comes from these markets what sell animals to eat. But that's not the only one. Most diseases that we've been ravaged with in the last 100 years have come from consuming animals. So HIV is a mutation of a virus found in chimps that is thought to have transmitted to humans through people in the Congo consuming bushmeat. Of course, that also ties in with like capitalism and economic exploitation. These people often eat bushmeat to sustain their diets, right? So that's another thing we've got to tackle as well if we want to spread veganism. But if I was in charge of the government, I would be like, get Britain largely off meat by, especially beef, by like 2035. I've just seen this stupid mosquito. By like 2035. Like, because I think it's necessary for climate change and also the survival of the human species. If we have the technology now to make meat synthetically, why are we still doing all this stuff, which ultimately hurts the environment and it also hurts humanity? And then that's my take, even without getting into the ethical arguments of should you eat meat in the first place, and of course the unethical nature of most countries' factory farming. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite in that I'm not a vegan, but my girlfriend's vegetarian, and I guess I have been pushing more towards a more vegetarian diet. For me, the big thing I eat meat is chicken. I don't eat much beef or bacon or sausages, but I eat a lot of chicken, and that's one thing I'd have to replace. But that's the thing, if you had a synthetic meat available for most people, and even if you push it as a matter of policy, then I think that would be good for humanity in general. But yeah, we do need to get off meat as a human species, because we've seen with obviously the global health situation at the moment, that's all come from maybe a pangolin or a bat being like eaten or being kept in close proximity to other animals before it's been cooked and eaten and stuff. So that is something I think, that's my take on veganism. You're way cooler than your brother. Thanks a lot, man. I also upload way more. Everyone should know you and your Kavos' brother kind of well. Yeah, Max, the other day someone said in my comments, you really sound like Kavos, and I was like, yeah, it's my little brother. But yeah, Max, I think only a few people remember we're even related, because obviously we started off this channel doing a couple videos together, like 2 videos together. But yeah, we are opposites in the sense that he makes like commentary content, like the YouTube genre of like just commenting on scandals and stuff, while my content is obviously like very politically focused. So I disagreed with Hassan on that drama a bit, because when you make 2 streams and then your friend makes another stream of Sargon card, it's clout chasing. Yeah, it's also in terms of the Hassan stuff in general, I have mixed feelings, because of course like people make videos of me, right-wingers, where they just watch my video together, and then there's an argument to be made, is that like transcendent or transformative content? I don't really give a shit, like I'm not going to copyright strike them, but then I have been copyright strike, myself. If you guys remember the Roadie Boo video, Forgotten Weapons, Ian, he striked my video because it featured a clip of him talking about the FAL, this rifle that the Rhodesians used. And I think his claims of me not using it as part of like transformative content are pretty like dubious. I think it's mainly didn't want to be associated with a guy in the video. That's just my take. Have you ever had a rant video on you? Yeah, I've had. It'll be hard to find, but there are a lot. There's one YouTuber who makes the saddest content. I think he's like 45 years old, which is even sadder. It's just him and like 6 people watch my videos and like roast me. I've never watched them because I get too mad and want to respond. But yeah, there's some other people. Sinatra Says has made a video on me ages ago. A couple other people as well. Happy New Chocolate Orange. Yes, I have to buy it for next week. Pizza Express. I do like Pizza Express, Ethan, but no, it wasn't Pizza Express. Jack saying, great to see your channel grow quickly. Your videos just keep getting better, mate. Congrats. Thanks so much, Jack. I know you're a big supporter. I see you in the live stream a lot, and I appreciate it. Appreciate what you said about my video as well. I feel like my little essay ones are getting a bit better. Any excitement for the Sandman adaptation on Netflix? Only that it's really pissing off chuds. Otherwise, I don't really care. Superboy, congrats, bro, from Algeria. Oh, awesome. I always have to do this. If you think you're from a country that I wouldn't expect you to be from, stick that in the chat as well. So Algeria is one for, I would not think I have any people watching from Algeria. So there's my vegan Kit Kat. What was I going to say? Have I been following the Cuomo situation? Yes, I have been following it. It's just insane. Let me finish this bit. Basically, the Cuomo stuff is just so crazy because I've never seen someone respond to those sorts of allegations by saying, hey, I'm Italian. And I've always said he reminds me of like this hard line, like maybe like the head of a union from like a mobster film or some shit, because even the way he comes across, he seems really, I don't know. The allegations aren't surprising, is all I'm saying. So it's crazy he hasn't resigned. And the fact that Joe Biden has said he should resign is pretty crazy to me. And all this like Cuomo sexual shit, like that Randy Rainbow guy, oh my god, aged so badly. Never simp for politicians, even if you really like them. I like AOC, okay. I like AOC a lot. The only way I'd simp for her is I find her like really attractive, but I'm not gonna simp for her politically in the sense that like I'll never criticize her. Like her stance on Israel, while it was good for the Gaza stuff, it was pretty terrible before that. Like some of the statements she would make, I've criticised her a lot on Twitter for that. And yeah, just don't simp for politicians. Even Bernie Sanders, you can criticise Bernie Sanders. It's fine. I like Bernie Sanders, but you can criticise him. Yes, Alexander, I'm hyped for Black Lotus. I also think the animation looks like shit. I'm just because it's set in like 2032. I'm just hoping they stick maybe K in there. Which is more annoying, the quartering or geeks and incels? Oh, that's a good one. I'd say Geeks and Gamers is worse because his content is far more political. Now the thing is, the quarterings videos, in general, if you watch them, sometimes it's very hard to get like a political opinion out of it. Like when I've done videos about him, he'll only say his like political opinion maybe at the start and the end. Whereas Geeks and Gamers, basically, because he has a politics channel as well, his whole thing is very political, and his politics are very more like mask off far right. So I'd say Geeks and Incels is a worse channel, but obviously the quartering has a way bigger reach and he pumps out the content. So you could really make an argument for who is worse. When you read a script, you naturally speak with more purposeful cadence rather than something super chill, which I know because I'm a former theatre kid. Yeah, like I have 3 different voices for this stuff. So okay, so I got the voice I'm talking in now, and I got the voice where I'd like present myself, but I'm not reading the script, and then I have the third voice where this is my reading voice. So it's like I got my notes here from my video. Why just men doing the saving? Because men are the target audience, and most game developers are male. Damsel trope shows how much men love women. So that's my like reading voice, which you might have heard in my video essay. So I got 3 different voices for my content. But yeah, like Kennedy was saying, I project my voice when I'm I guess I got like a good balance where it is natural because it's off the top of my head, but I am projecting my voice at the same time. But yeah, you don't know the real me. Which one's the real me? Lamal, the thumbnail. Yeah, I know, it's funny. It's from my cake for 10k I got last year. Thanks for responding to my message about Colin Moriarty. Loved your video about Chris from Love Island. Yeah, no problem, Ross. That Chris from Love Island video was so freaking hilarious, but like, it's very concerning. I need to make a video on this. Every podcast YouTube channel is extremely right wing. I don't know if anyone has noticed this. They make Joe Rogan look like a liberal or something. Colin Moriarty, basically, I get what you were saying. I find his content like problematic because he's like a centrist libertarian. But the thing is, he's not like a super dumb like guy, and I don't find his opinions like super like objectionable. Is that the word? Or I don't object to his opinions as much like, you know, far right geek YouTubers and stuff. Messi left Barca. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Apparently also Aguero and Depay can't actually play in the league, I was reading as well. Do I play Rising Storm 2? I know you're a Vietnam history fan. Amity, I bought a gaming PC back in March when my desktop crashed. My little brother used to play it a lot and show me it, and I've always wanted to, but I just don't PC game. I'm such a noob when it comes to technology. Like, I want to invite people on my channel for like interviews, but I don't actually know how to record it. Like, I don't know how I would record us. Oh, this mosquito, man. Like, I don't know how I'd actually record us like speaking and stuff. Congrats, can't wait for the 50 and 100k next. Or wouldn't 100k be next? 100 next? Be nice. 50k I'm targeting by the end of the year. We got like 5 months. I would say the incels are more annoying. They tell other people not to play the victim when they would win the Olympic gold playing the victim. Yeah, exactly. Kennedy saying, I have so much respect for vegans. I'm a vegetarian. I can't go the whole 9 yards because I die without egg sandwiches. Yeah, we all have like the little things. I'm trying to think of what it would be for me. Is like Monster Energy vegan? I don't know about that. Chocolate is a big one, like, and milk. I really like milk, so that they would be the hardest ones to me. I happily go vegetarian. Like, corn meat is fine. And other ones, yeah, zootonic diseases. Hi Veronica. Yeah, Veronica's another old subscriber, which I was talking about. Why not just eat veggies? Oh, so boring. Would you eat lab-grown meat? Yeah, for example. Yeah, definitely would. Holly, my girlfriend's in the chat. She says, what the fuck? You always call me boring for being vegetarian. I do call Holly boring for being vegetarian, but it's just, okay, I don't know if any of you have had this, so let me know in the chat, right? Me and Holly both like really like our food, right? And we really like going out to restaurants and eating nice food. About like a year ago, Holly became like full vegetarian, right? And that just leaves me with no one to get this food with. So like if we get McDonald's, like she can't get anything that's like that substantial. Where I really like getting McDonald's, right? So it just like limits us. And also the worst thing is when we get Chinese, I have to get tofu chow mein, which is just not that nice compared to chicken chow mein because we share like the stuff. I don't know if anyone else has had that, but it is quite annoying. At least you're honest. I've seen some leftists do mental gymnastics when it comes to veganism. Yeah, we all should be vegan, right? Like in terms of we all should not be eating real animal meat. And I was watching 3D printed plant-based meat the other day in like Spain in this tech show. Apparently it tastes really good. That is what the future should be. Like I said, diseases, climate change. We should be trying to get off meat as quick as possible. Mainly beef, but of course like other stuff as well. I would like to know if there's a better method to deal with liberals who think they're infinitely smarter than everyone. That's a hard one. How to deal with liberals who think they're smarter than everyone. I mean, liberals for me are one of the most frustrating groups, right? Because I think Destiny is a good example, and you guys have watched that JonTron video, for example. Liberals can be helpful when being against, like maybe debating fascists and conservatives, right? And that's what I see their use as to us. But then liberals also get very combative against leftists as well. So, for example, I think the problem with liberals is that they often, a lot of them are Western chauvinists, for example, where like it's outrageous to like Che Guevara, but it's fine to like George Washington, for example, despite George Washington being, like I've said in many videos, objectively a worse person, more destructive person than Che Guevara was. And also, liberals can't imagine that people would be happy in a system that isn't liberal capitalism. So I had an argument with my friends about this, right? About like Vietnam and Cuba. And I was saying like a lot of these countries' problems, Vietnam's between 1975 and 1995 with the embargo they had, and Cuba's current embargo, is a lot of their problems are put on them by the US. But people are happy in these systems. Even China, for example, people live happily in those systems. I know we can't imagine it because in the West, we you know, as a YouTube, obviously, I place a great emphasis on the freedom of speech, for example. But if you're a poor person, you'd obviously put more priority on housing, education, training for jobs, healthcare, right? So when you live in a society that has often transitioned from a backwards authoritarian capitalist hellhole like South Vietnam and Cuba, and now you have a new government which is more focused, even though it might not, you know, place a great value on freedom of speech, not like these capitalist authoritarian countries ever did, but people can be happy in that because it provides their needs. And I think that's something liberals can't imagine. Like, I don't want to live in Cuba or China, for example. I don't want to live there, right? And it's because I like freedom of speech and it's part of like my job, right? If I moved to China and they started censoring my content, I probably wouldn't have a great time, right? But then I'm not going to tell a Chinese person who likes living in China, or a Cuban who likes living in Cuba, or a Vietnamese person who likes living in Vietnam, oh, you should actually hate it there because you don't have the same like freedoms of us, even though you have a lot more freedom in terms of healthcare compared to someone in the US, for example. They're not, you know, in a lot of those countries, you're at a way lower risk of dying without health coverage, for example. So I think the problem with liberals is they can't imagine life outside their own bubbles, and it's like everything different is wrong and bad, and they should all strive for being like the United States, for example. And I think what liberals need to realise is that different societies have often placed greater emphasis on different things. Like, it's fair to say that a lot of Asian countries put more focus on the collective, or even just caring about general hygiene, for example. Like, the stuff in the US, I'm not going to say it explicitly, but there's something that you might wear around your face, which the US get all funny about because of like their freedoms and individual rights, and they don't care about anyone else. But of course, it's been common practice to wear these types of things in Asian countries throughout like the last century, probably longer. You can see videos in the 1930s of Japan, and loads of people were wearing them. So, you know, that's just like certain values that change. But I think a lot of Western liberals can't imagine countries liking their values more than Western values. And like I said, it's a bit of Western chauvinism. What do I think of Karl Marx? I don't... Wait. Sorry, I've had a lot of... Is Kavos your brother? Yep, he's my little brother. Do I have a brother? Yeah, I have two brothers. I have an older brother and a younger brother, and a younger sister as well. Sorry, what do I think of John Maynard Keynes versus Karl Marx? I don't know much about John Keynes. Karl Marx, I like enough. I mean, we had to read him in uni. A bit boring, but a lot of what he said was interesting. But I'm not like the biggest... You know, I've read a lot of theory as part of my studies, but that's about it, really. Sorry, I'm getting some... I'm getting comments in the Discord. Alright, I didn't get any comments on the Discord. One sec. One sec. I mean, Forgotten Weapons said it was about fair use, and 1099 broke it. I don't think I did. I'll talk about it another time, when the copyright strike's expired. Pizza Express is my favourite. I like it a lot, for sure. Egg and chicken Pizza Express. A love from Trinidad while I'm in London. Well, that's still cool. You're from Trinidad, though. AP Nerds, yeah, that's who I was talking about, but there's another channel, I think, that did it as well. Smoked Yankee, I would never do a video about that strictly. Obviously, you can see in my content that I don't just do like, here is this event. I normally try to make it like more contextualized. So like even when I did the Iranian fascist stuff, it was more about like how it related to present day politics, even though it was a history video. Favorite sci-fi or fantasy series? If we're talking about books or TV shows, I don't know, sci-fi. If we're talking about TV, I guess sci-fi, I'd go for Man in the High Castle, the show. I have a poster of it behind me as well. I like Star Wars, I guess, my favourite sci-fi, but people say that's science fantasy. The animated shows are really good for Star Wars. I like The Bad Batch a lot at the moment. Hype for the finale. I'm glad it's got renewed, actually. I'm really surprised how much I like it, actually. I didn't think I'd like The Bad Batch that much because I didn't really like the episodes in the Clone Wars. But then, you know, them getting the good arcs and, like, very interesting to see the Empire forming out of the Republic, I guess. Pat saying, keep up the good work, man. I'm from the soon-to-be country of Northumbria. Yes, we need Northumbria back. If people aren't aware, I don't know how strong this movement is, but there's now a movement to recreate the country of Northumbria, which you might remember if you've watched, like, Vikings or played Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's like this, you know, ancient country in England. We had Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, stuff like that. So there's a movement to make a new Northumbria because of how the Conservative governments often treat northern parts of the country, for example. Have I seen the Vosh versus Charlie Kirk debate? I was going to watch it for a video, and then I saw it was like 3 hours long, and I was like, no. The thing is, I just can't stand listening to Tim Paul and Charlie Kirk speak, so subjecting myself to that for 3 hours doesn't sound like a good thing to do. Nico, what situation are you talking about? Sorry, I'm a bit behind on the comments. Randy Rainbow is my personal enemy. Yeah, he fucking sucks. Congrats on your 40k from Columbus, Ohio. Thanks so much. Smoked Yankee Buffalo Soldiers. Political simping is cringe. Yeah. People simping for Ben Shapiro. Apparently there's loads of TikToks, which I want to make a video on. Am I a tea guy? I like Monster iced tea, which they have not sold in the UK for 4 years now. So that's very, very depressing. Billy's Bees, 501st Legion, congrats on the 40k subs. Really appreciate you making the videos on dead nations and simps of dead nations. Thanks a lot, Billy. Very upset my Rhodesia video got taken down, but it is what it is. I need to make a video on Yugoslavia at some point and Serba booze. Yeah, Luna, the Attack on Titan stuff, I'm just not going to touch because I haven't watched it, so I'm just going to be destroyed if I try and talk about that. Do you remember that advert for the Viking mobile game I sent you on Instagram and it had the quartering promoting it? Is that the one that had, like, the fucking black sun on the shield of the Viking? Someone sent me that yesterday. Have I ever played any of the Mass Effect series? If so, which is your favourite? Yeah, so my little brother loved Mass Effect growing up, and I always watched him play it, and I was like, the combat looks kind of bad. I dived in with Andromeda, and I was in my last year of uni, my last couple of months of my undergrad, and I banged it out, and I really, really liked it, and I really was hyped for DLC or a sequel. This might be blasphemy about Andromeda being good. The combat was really fun, like the abilities you got, and I enjoyed the story, and then I'm kind of sad they just cut it. But I really liked it a lot. The lore was really cool. The character stuff was fun. So I hope they make a... You know, I would have liked a sequel to Andromeda. The concept was really cool. But obviously they're doubling down and probably going back on, like, the Shepherd crew. I think energy drinks are vegetarian, but if they're not, I'll die. Yeah. It has monsters in it, so no. I love beef and feel bad. I mean, yeah, I like steak. I like beef. But at the same time... The thing is, here's what the problem is. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Because obviously the world is so unequal, for example, but different countries are like, you know, the health situation at the moment has pushed it back a bit, but different countries are like getting economic power in different ways. So, for example, I don't know if this is still classification, but the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, I wouldn't really class those countries as the same now, because now obviously China way ahead of them. I'd say South Africa is way below a lot of these countries. But these are developing countries, but you're going to have more and more developing economies like in Africa and Asia. And what I fear that because of like, you know, even Karl Marx says you've got to go through like this capitalist industrialized process to get to socialism anyway. But I fear that even if like the UK, Europe, the EU, even America takes a step back from the beef industry, for example, these emerging markets are just going to sustain it for a long time, and that's what I'm really afraid of. So really, like, you know, humanity's inability to work together is what's going to fuck us over, really, because a lot of common sense things are just not implemented because we can't work together for various different reasons, like religion, you know, religious rivalry, capitalism. There's loads of different factors. Someone says, I think Jay, who had the jar of Hassan, drew it out. I don't have a problem with him. I just came off as a prick who wanted to fight. I didn't watch the live stream, so I can't comment. Raphael says, when covering certain topics, have you ever considered asking other YouTubers who are experts on most particular topics to help you with your research? Because obviously, like, I have like a more academic background, and also a couple of my jobs have been me going into issues blind to research. I think my research skills are pretty good. And I think they're like more in depth. Like, you know, I'm not saying this is massive, but when I was researching Activision Blizzard yesterday, I'm like really going in on the Google search, and that I'm like putting the filter on like 2001 to like 2004 and like trying to find all these articles that maybe people haven't found before. I'm trying to think. I think I have messaged Suris, the VTuber, a couple times about skeptics because I know he is one. But yeah, I don't normally message people about anything. I normally, but the thing is, my videos normally come from my own interests, so I'm not gonna like really make a video I don't know anything about and I need loads of help. I guess the main one. Nico, it's not lag. I just want to read everyone's comments, and I don't want people to just be overlooked. I'm pretty bad for this, but I normally do like read everyone's comments. Veggie main or like Mapu tofu. Yeah, but I don't think the Chinese we go to serves that, even though it is really good. Vietnam only got out of embargo by including some capitalism. Yeah, but like the whole world has to kind of abide by a capitalist system now. It's just the global system, isn't it? Congrats on 40k. Thank you, Kitty Bop. I'm just reading some more comments. I need to play Dragon Age. I played Dragon Age Inquisition and I really liked it. I haven't played the other ones though. What? Okay. Can people tell me what is the deal with having Lauren Southern as a liberal leftist coming on your stream? Is it just because she's pretty? Like, if Lauren Southern was some old dude who was like 60 years old, like on balding, would any leftist liberal Twitch streamer want to invite her or him, if it was, you know, the person in my example, onto their stream? She's like literally mask off fascist. She's not only someone who says this shit, she literally went and did it. She was harassing migrant boats. Why do people forget this shit? Afrian saying, congratulations on a new subscriber. Appreciate it. Appreciate you subscribing. Was it over my JonTron video? One sec. Right. Sorry, I'm done with eating and drinking now. I'll be more focused. Hello, Cav. Hello, Oatmeal. Melon saying, I'm Libby DVR on Patreon. Congrats. Thanks for being a Patreon, Libby/Melon. I really appreciate it. Have you shown your chocolate orange? Yeah, that sounds kind of dirty. So there is my chocolate orange. No, I'm going to buy another one of these ones. I haven't bought it yet because I didn't think I'd get to 40k so quick. On Saturday, I'll buy it. Diego talking about the mass abuse of manga artists in Japan. That's shit. But isn't that like more symptomatic of Japan's working conditions being really crap? Keppel saying, my dad's such a lib, he refuses to think there's a racism problem in the UK because most discussions involve US politics, which is super different. Keppel, I don't know if I was saying this to you, Kennedy, on the stream. Maybe it was actually on the Humanist Report last week, but I've said, I don't think I said it to you, Kennedy, actually. I said that I think in the UK, a lot of people don't think there's racism because like our closest neighbour in terms of like, you know, language and culture, sort of like the one we're exposed to the most, even though I'd argue maybe Canada and Australia are a bit more similar. Because you have so many videos of like, you know, George Floyd, for example, and Trayvon Martin, and really explicit stuff happening pretty regularly in the news cycle. A lot of people in the UK think, well, that doesn't happen here, really. Sometimes happens, but not really, especially not as violently. It happened to an Aston Villa footballer like a couple of months ago, but that was a taser that killed him, I think. But anyway, because they see that and they see other stuff, they don't think there's racism because it's not explicit. I don't know how many of you watched my Amazing Atheist video and watched it until the end, but when he was talking about racism, saying it's just based on discrimination based on skin colour, I think a lot of people think that's what racism is, whereas the person he was reading the article from and what I was saying was, you know, racism is a hierarchy. Okay, we have to make this distinction. When I'm talking about like racism, I'm normally talking about Western racism, and often former countries that were colonized do buy into Western racism, like China is one, for example, India is another one. And that's part of like our legacy of the colonialism, that a lot of these people buy into the racial hierarchy. And this racial hierarchy that was created beginning in like the 1400s has black people right at the bottom. It's black people who are bottom. They're the one, and that's why they're enslaved, because not because of their black skin. They were enslaved because to the Christians, these guys had like, you know, rejected Christ, whereas the natives, I said this in the video the other day, the natives had never heard of Christ, so the natives will be put into this brutal tax system where they'll work for the Europeans, convert to Christianity, but you know the Africans do not deserve that. They deserve slavery for eternity. There's actually a papal bull, which is like a law from the Vatican in the 1400s that said this. Because I studied like this period of history a lot during my undergrad. It's a very, very interesting period. Anyway, it creates this hierarchy of races, and something I often talk about as well is, with me, someone said I look Syrian or something the other day, which not in a mean way, but I often get a load of racial abuse in my comments about me being like a Jew, for example. I guess, you know, I could pass for Jewish because of the maybe Mediterranean look, or that I'm like a mutt because if you have dark hair to racist people, then you aren't pure white. But this is the type of racism the Spanish used to use at Muslims who had converted to Christianity or Jewish people. It's like, well, you're not really a Christian because look at you, you have like Muslim or Jewish blood. And then when the Anglo-Saxon racial identity was created about the 1500s, they would say, well, you know, you Spanish and Italians, look at you, you got dark hair like me, and a lot of you are tanned. Well, surely you guys also have Muslim blood, so you're not actually Christians either. And that's what they used to associate Catholicism with as well. So people need to understand about like racial hierarchies, and for the, you know, the Anglo-Saxons, they were at the top of this racial hierarchy, and that's how it gets racialized more, is that these guys were the most pale, the Anglo-Saxons, the pure Christians, where the Spanish and Italians were more tanned with dark hair, more similar to, I guess, Arabs. And obviously because they had a history of Arab colonialism in these countries, that's what they said was going on there. And then you have the natives, and then you have black people all the way at the bottom. And that's what creates this hierarchy where race is created. Because, you know, people like the Amazing Atheist talk about being colorblind, and that's all well and good. But you can't be colorblind when we, especially as white people, have created races and we created a hierarchy of races and imposed it on people. Like, black people in Africa didn't see a white person and think, like, white skin makes you X and Y. And originally, you know, in the crusading period, for example, when a lot of Christians first got exposed to the Middle East, and they took like wives who were Arab or, you know, other stuff like that, they weren't prejudiced based on skin color. It was about religion, but this prejudice from religion became about skin color as time went on. And that's why, if you're a white person saying we should be colorblind, it's just insane, because we've, you know, not me or you, but like white people historically, especially Anglo-Saxon racial people who identify that way, they've created this racial hierarchy. And to dismantle that, you've obviously got to educate about how it even came to be in the first place. But that's a frustrating thing to talk about. Parker, thanks so much for the donation. Sorry for just seeing that. Congrats on 40k subs. Add another chocolate orange. Yes, I will get the other chocolate orange soon. I'm going to skip forward to Massin's comment. 10.99 euros, I believe. Thanks so much, Massan. That's super nice of you. Really appreciate the donation. Congrats on the 40k. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate all the support today. I'm feeling the love. I'll keep going. Blade Runner 12 Monkeys show is great. Yeah, I really want to watch that. I've never watched it. Bad Batch has been sick so far. So good. From the Clone Wars. Yeah, I think it's been really good. The production values are crazy. It looks amazing. One of the best animations I've ever seen. Northern Independence Party, yeah. Boo says, congrats on hitting 40k. Thanks so much. Super appreciate it. Am I a fan of The Last Kingdom? I'm not, because I asked on Twitter, should I watch Last Kingdom or Vikings? And people told me to watch Vikings, so I've been watching that instead. Do I play JRPGs? No, I wouldn't say I do. I'm trying to think of any I played, but I can't say I've actually played any. Just like the style, it never really interested me. Someone sent Cav some of that Monster Tea. I buy it myself sometimes from America, but it takes ages to get here. Esteban says, hey Kavernacle, what TV shows do you like that anti-SJWs hate? I mean, Man the High Castle was one they'd probably hate if they watched it, so that's a good one. Mr. Robot is like, me and Kennedy have debated over how woke it is, but there's no denying it certainly plays with a lot of woke themes, even if maybe the overall message at the end might be more centrist than I might have been willing to admit when I first watched it. But Mr. Robot is a very woke show for those anti-SJWs. Not Andromeda. You need to play, yeah, play Dragon Age. Do I watch the HITC7's YouTube video? Out of the football channels I prefer, he seems to be the furthest left to me. I don't really watch that. You're talking about, like, for soccer. I watched that Rabona TV guy. Witty is here. Hi, Witty. I assume Cav is getting these questions off another stream. No, I'm just taking the chat, which you guys can't see. How do I get into leftist issues? This is a good question. So I said I'd talk about Kavernacle origins, so I'll talk about this quick. So basically, I have a video. Let me get it up for you guys, actually, while I'm talking about this stuff. I have a video. Where is it? Called My Political Evolution from Voting Conservative to Supporting Corbyn, right? And to a lot of you people, you might think, oh, Cav supported Conservatives? What a monster. So my political evolution was very weird. So I was always left-leaning, although I didn't really want to admit it. Like, I always, like, was very, like, woke about racism, being, like, an Irish person. Never, like, never was a simp for colonialism. Because, like, some of my family were in, like, various incarnations of the IRA. Absolutely loved history, though. I'm a massive history nerd. I've always been a history nerd. So in this video here, can't move it much, one sec. So in this video here, I talk about it. So basically, in my first I don't know what is going on with, one sec. There we go. In this video here, I talk about it. But basically, During my first election, I voted for the Conservatives, but I supported Bernie Sanders. Right. This was just after Bernie Sanders announced his run for president, but TYT were already doing like profiles on him, so I liked Bernie Sanders at this point. But I voted Conservative. And you might ask, how do you do that? Well, in my mind, in the UK at that time, we had Ed Miliband, who was like the centrist Blairite, but he's a bit of like a buffoon, really. Like the way he spoke was very bad. And in my head, I was kind of seduced by like the grown-ups because I love foreign policy and history. I thought that Ed Miliband's takes and stuff were very weak. But also, the MP I voted for used to be a doctor in Gaza, Tory MP, for example. So my district is very weird in that it's mostly white. And even though I grew up in and went to school in a very diverse area, when I was like, I've always grown up in a more white area and went to school in a more diverse area. And when I was about 17, we moved to like a very white area. And this district basically is very liberal. So it just switches between the Liberals and the Conservatives. But if you want to win as a Conservative, you've got to be more liberal, right? And my district was weird in that it was one of the only very white areas in the country, really, that voted against Brexit. So I was more like this enlightened liberal, but I like Bernie Sanders. And then I think Brexit radicalized me a lot because the real xenophobic overtones, not even undertones or connotations of the Leave campaign about Muslims mainly, about from Turkey joined the EU, 100 million Muslims going to come to Britain, all that shite. And then I voted against the Tories in 2017. And then in 2017, I also went to university to do my master's in international relations. And I said this before, but my history degree was great in getting me the knowledge of like racism in like a historical context. But my international relations degree, because it's political science, really helped me contextualize everything. And I'm really grateful that I got to do it because I feel like a lot of people, you guys might notice this, a lot of people who love history often are left-wing people, especially historians, but a lot of people who like amateur, sort of like, not, I wouldn't say casually, but love history, but maybe don't have the academic background. A lot of them lean right. And I think the problem with that is that because when you learn a lot about history, you lack the political framing of stuff. So political science as like a academic subject, a lot of it is about theories and framing. And I think that's what history lacks as like a discipline. So I'm very glad I did that because when I did that, it gave me these, I did a whole module on like different ideologies and how to view international relations. So viewing international relations through feminism, Marxism, realism, capitalism was another one as well. All these different thinkers we had to read. Like, we had to read Karl Marx, Adam Smith, had to read this guy called E.H. Carr, who was around in the 1930s and 40s, basically talking about like, states exist in a basically always competing, always want to fight each other. The only reason they don't have wars against each other is because it wouldn't be beneficial overall. And every time a country does something out of the goodness of their heart, humanitarian intervention, it's basically bullshit to justify their imperialism, essentially. And then I also had a Marxist professor teach me about the economics of the Middle East and US foreign policy, which I really liked him. I followed him on Twitter and everything afterwards. And then I did my thesis on the first Gulf War, New York Times coverage, and like media framing and war. And I think all that stuff together just made me very passionate about left-wing stuff in general, maybe way more left-wing than I'd ever been. And then I actually started my YouTube channel at the end of 2017, so when I was starting my master's. And then I was still like withdrawing from my more atheist phase because I was a massive atheist, and this channel actually started off as an atheist channel. But as I like got the political understanding, I became more and more like, people like Sam Harris don't really know what they're talking about when it comes to history and politics, and it really just pushed me away. And then I remember tweeting maybe 2 years ago, I said, am I really at the stage of my atheism where I like reject, like I hate atheists basically? Have I gone like that full circle that I used to be like quite a passionate atheist and now I hate atheists, even though I am, still a massive atheist and stuff. So that was quite like a political evolution. I think over the last 2 or so years, I've been really consistent. But before that, I think I was a bit worse on some things. I've always been pretty good on racism. I've become way more anti-capitalist in the last 3 years. And I think something that I've evolved on a lot is like LGBT stuff, in the sense that like I've been more exposed. Not that, because I said this the other day. Like, I found a video from my channel like that's nearly 4 years old, and I thought like maybe I didn't talk about trans rights a lot when I started, but it was actually me talking about these parents in the UK who took their kid out of school because there was a transgender student, and I was basically saying, you know, how ridiculous that is. So I'm glad I was fairly consistent. But I think what's been good about doing YouTube is it's really helped me. Well, it's exposed me to trans rights way more because I actually interact with a lot of trans people, people who are in my Discord, people who are subscribed to me, and that's been really helpful for me as a person in my own life who actually doesn't know any trans people and actually has only met one transgender person in my whole life. And in the UK, for example, they're not visible, obviously on purpose, because the Labour Party don't want to touch this issue. So I feel like in terms of evolving even further, trans rights is a big thing that's like I've become far more passionate about. Not that because I was like a bad person and I was ignoring it. It's mainly just because I just wasn't exposed to this struggle enough, and in my head it was more like a real minority thing, really. I've always been good for like gay rights as well, but then I thought in my head, it's weird how you don't really think of trans rights when you're a bit younger. It's more about like gay rights and stuff. So that's like how I got into like left-wing issues. And yeah, like I said, I feel like I've progressed a bit better in the last 3 years with transgender rights, mainly just focusing a bit of my content on it a bit more. But yeah, that's my like political evolution for you. I'll probably clip that and put it in a video for Saturday or something. I hope that answered your question though. Gonna read some more stuff. Hey Cav, why am I streaming at 1 a.m? Well, I sometimes upload at like 6 a.m. So, I mean, YouTube's my full-time job now since I quit to pursue it. So I stay out whenever I want. Juanito, congratulations, man. Keep up the great work. Thanks so much. Appreciate you coming in to comment. The Master of Gaming, what do I think of the Critical Drinker? Idiot, but to be honest, I can't really stand his content, so I can't really finish a video. Your videos and beliefs are fascinating to watch. I think that's a positive thing, so I'd say thanks. What do you mean by that, Master of Gaming? How do you think Far Cry 6 will handle inspiration from real life politics? Well, I think the director is Iranian, and he was saying like he's fought his family about like revolutionary politics a lot. Also, didn't the guy from Breaking Bad and The Mandalorian, I forgot his name, say that it is inspired by Fidel Castro, which I hope it's not. I thought Danny Carvajal was Arab when I first saw him. Race is what society makes it out to be. Yeah, it's like, you know, that happens a lot, doesn't it? Like, Benzema said, like, you know, he's French when France win, he's Arab when France lose, that sort of shit. Hi, Kavernacle, congrats on the 40k, thanks a lot. UK racism has focused a lot on Muslims in recent years. Yeah, Black Brit, I don't know if you watched my video yesterday, but I said that at the end. I said, in terms of, like, my own racism, and here's something, like, you know, you guys know I'm like a, you know, massive anti-racist, and my channel is like anti-fascist, anti-racist. But here's my problem with leftists and liberals, and this can be like white leftists as well. It's okay to acknowledge that you held either like, well, you held like minor racial prejudices because you grow up in a racist society, right? And like I said, and Black Brit makes a good point. Like I said in the video yesterday, when I was growing up, and I grew up in a diverse school, right? And I said this in the video, so I grew up in a diverse school. Indian people, Nigerian people, Ghanaian people, Filipino people, Chinese people, Irish people, Polish people. Because it's a Catholic school, so most people there are either first, second, or third gen immigrants to the UK. But we had some Muslims in the school because they were let in, for some reason or another, they were let in even in primary school. So I had some exposure to Muslims and Islam, but my exposure to like other stuff was way more than my exposure to Islam. And I used to, because I've been a massive history buff since I was a kid, I used to get up and watch the news before primary school. And what did I see on the news? I saw Israel's war with Lebanon. I saw the British war in Afghanistan. I saw the British war in Iraq. And then, you know, I'm growing up when I'm like nearly 10 years old, there's the 7/7 bombings in London, right? And the way our news media reports on this stuff, it's really hard for someone, let alone, you know, I'm someone who grew up in a diverse environment, but lots of white people in the UK don't. And you're being fed that stuff about Muslims for like a decade. you're going to have some ingrained racial prejudice. And I know people say, like, Islam's not a race, but the press would racialize Islam, right? And that's how you get attacks on often, like, Sikh people for being Muslims, because you've racialized Islam to where you view it as a certain, someone is a Muslim if they look a certain way, not based on what they believe. And I said in my video, I think that sort of indoctrination made me more primed to agree with someone like Sam Harris when I was like 18 or 19, and kind of discard the accusations of him being like somewhat bigoted, which I think he is, because I've been indoctrinated in this like Western chauvinism kind of racism. And, I don't think I ever had racial prejudice against Indian people or black people, because I grew up in that environment. A lot of my classmates were either Indian or black. A lot of my friends were either Indian or black. When you grow up in that since you're a child, it's very hard to like have these massive racial prejudices. But if I'm diagnosing myself, I would say my main racial prejudice would be targeted towards what I perceived as Muslim people growing up. And some of you might be a bit younger. I know some of you in my Discord are like 17 or so, but you probably don't remember the fear-mongering, and you might have been exposed to it a little bit with like the refugee crisis and like the rise of ISIS in 2014. But I was saying to Kennedy in the Bad Practice stream, I have more hope for my sister's generation on a lot of things because they weren't indoctrinated against it as much as we were, because I'm 25. Basically, as I've been growing up, it's just never-ending war in the Middle East. And if you don't have the knowledge about how these wars come about, or colonialism in the Middle East from Western powers and stuff, then you're not going to be able to really diagnose the cause of these things. So to you, it seems like, why does this religion make these people do this stuff? And what, like, George Bush, they hate us because they hate us. They hate us because they hate freedom. And that's very persuasive when you don't have the knowledge of that stuff. And even, like I said, my blind spot, I went to a Catholic school, which, like I said, had many different immigrant groups in it, but Muslims weren't really present. I think I knew 2 Muslims in school who were let in for some reason or another, because obviously you can't really go to a Catholic school if you're not Catholic. So yeah, like I think the best thing to do is you're not a bad person for thinking this stuff. You got to recognize the system has made you feel this way, and often it's part of a larger agenda, and it can all come back to capitalism in the end. But it's part of this like news media agenda as well, and you're brainwashed by it. So I wish more people would come forward and just, especially white people, don't get offended, about having these previous bigoted views, because it's not always your fault, right? The best thing to do is recognize it, help call it out when you see it happening now to other people, and that's how you kind of reach people, is like, I did used to be like that, and I'm not a saint. I didn't I wasn't a passionate anti-racist from 5 years old, and even someone like me who has progressive YouTube channel, anti-capitalist, anti-racism, and I grew up in this diverse environment, there was still massive holes in how I felt about certain groups, and I just think that's something people should be more honest about, because it's just helpful at the end of the day. Where someone like TJ Kirk and the Amazing Atheist thing, he doesn't seem to recognize how that's affected him, and him saying all black women look the same or all Asians look the same to him, like that, and then saying that you're not really going to make an effort to change, that's just not a good look. If you said that, like, when I was younger I thought this, but I recognize that's because in Western media we're depicted that this country as an extension of our Orientalism, this whole region, they all look the same or something, then that's something people can forgive. But if you just say, yeah, I'm like nearly 40 and I still think this, and who cares, that's the problem. George Duke saying, I get so much anti-Semitic abuse because of how I look. Whiteness is such a ridiculous concept. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm an extremely pale white person, but I get racist abuse because I have dark hair. How ridiculous is that logic? And read some more stuff. Local Max Tax saying, I think a lot of people forget whiteness is a relatively new concept. It used to be to be pure Anglo-Saxons, but they later brought in Italians and Irish to unite against non. Yeah, exactly, Local Max Tax. That's why it's a bullshit concept. I always catch the Jubilee live streams. Congrats, Cav. Keep up your humanist work. Thanks, Theo. Appreciate it. I know you've been around for a while. Read some more comments. Race is a complete farce, but acting like it doesn't play a huge role in how society's been formed is idiotic. Yeah, Bad Batch versus Stormtroopers, Hezbollah versus IDF. What? I wouldn't call Bad Batch Hezbollah. American here. Yeah, Zach, you'd find it very. You'd have to be extremely racist if you're a British person who describes himself as an Anglo-Saxon. I've heard it maybe like once by some like really bigoted women on the radio, but I think Anglo-Saxon as a racial identity has more transported itself to like the US more than the UK. Of course, it did originate here in terms of even the like the racialized identity of it. I'm still waiting for your Death Stranding video. Yeah, I need to get on that. I'm going to stay at my girlfriend's next week, so I'm hoping maybe I can bang out the writing parts for The Last of Us and the Death Stranding video. You got mad at me once in a comment, but I still love you. I just wanted to tell you, what was I get mad about? Tell me. I'll take it back if I was wrong. Black Brit, I actually like Kiefer Sutherland a lot as Snake, and also Black Brit, I will say there is maybe a canon reason for why they sound a bit different, although you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, and that's what I'll say. Yeah, US is bad at soccer, but they're getting better. Like, is it Weston McKennie, Pulisic, Rayner, a couple others look fairly decent. So, Rabona TV, yeah, it's pretty good. Which commits more crimes, US government or the Chinese government? US government for sure. I mean, is it even close? Yeah, the fireball. I think the UK will become like Poland or Hungary, to be honest, or Japan. Jack, what's a PPE degree? I haven't heard that. Is it something to do with politics? Around Brexit, my landlady, whose basement I live in, said you'd have to vote for Brexit. Is it? I swear that's illegal. Can't you report her? Amateur historians are the worst. Look at any local library history section. It's World War Two and Niall Ferguson top to bottom. Yeah, fucking exactly. Keprel, history is taught by the victor is not actually true. So you don't need to repeat that too much. Basically, the most true case of that is that the Wehrmacht wrote their own history about World War Two, and that's why we all hate the Russians now and all think they didn't do anything. Because most of them were put into the West German military or the West German government, and they were allowed to write their own history of the war. And the British wanted to rehabilitate the Germans, otherwise the British people wouldn't accept being on the side of West Germany. So. It's amazing how people who know nothing about history and culture are so confident in giving their opinions on both. My main thing about history is pretty much every popular myth about history is completely wrong. Like, student protests against the Vietnam War didn't end the Vietnam War. Like, mass unrest against Vietnam didn't like end. This is the one I see the most. Like, student protests and hippies ended Vietnam because the war was so unpopular because it was on TV. It's just not true. Vietnam was popular for like the whole time it was being fought. Like, nearly the whole time, apart from during the Tet Offensive, it was more popular than not popular, which is, you know, something I found out, which was I thought was pretty crazy, but still. Sorry, I'm just reading some more stuff. Who is a bigger grifter, Dave Rubin or Jimmy Dore? Dave Rubin, 100%. Jimmy Dore's bad and everything, but like he hasn't completely sold out, whereas Dave Rubin has completely sold out. Never underestimate Switzerland. Switzerland were pretty good in the Euros, to be fair. Very unlucky. What's my favourite Metal Gear? I'd say for like context and themes, I like Peace Walker the best. I'd say in terms of gameplay, I liked 5 a lot, but I really like them all, to be honest. UCAV are one of the main reasons I want to do YouTube when I get a proper computer to edit on. That's really cool, Limbo. Glad I inspired someone. What do you want to do your channel on? politics, or like strict politics? That's what I used to do. Or do you want to do it on more like a combination? Is there any content on ableism? That's a good point. The thing is, a lot of my like trans rights content isn't like the subject. So like if you ask me about where to find all this stuff, I have done stuff about it before, but I just can't remember where it is. PPE is a politics, philosophy, economics degree. Yeah, Jack, it depends what you mean as useless, because, for example, my job that I had before I quit in December was pharmaceutical journalism, but I started doing journalism, like politics and entertainment journalism, at university, and then did it a bit after uni, like freelance. So that's like what got me the job. The thing you got to remember is like, if I don't know how old you are, Jack. If you're asking me, I don't know if you've gone to uni or you're doing your degree or you haven't. The thing is, they're not useless for you because they make you like a way more informed person and like just help you in general life. In terms of job prospects, I say there's a ton of degrees that just fit into like degrees, and you will be able to get a job with them, but it's not going to be a specialized job. So you're probably not going to get a job in politics just for having a politics degree. You'd probably have to do like a placement year or an internship and stuff like that to get the experience on top of the politics degree. Same with economics. You're going to have to do something on the side. That's what I'd recommend to everyone. If you go to university, and I think, this is one criticism for a lot of students. Most students are really fucking lazy, because if you do a humanities degree or even some political science degrees, you're actually not in class that much. And yes, you have a lot of reading and work, but you have a lot of free time. So like at university in first year, I did entertainment journalism and I played football. In second year, I did entertainment journalism, politics journalism. I played football and I played touch rugby on top of my degree. And in third year, I was the gaming editor of the entertainment magazine. I wrote for politics. I had my own radio show, which was the precursor to the YouTube channel. And then I also, did I say it? I played football, played rugby, did that. So I did a lot of stuff. And it's just such great experience. And also like through the magazine, I got to go to like a press junket with Steven Spielberg. Got to go to like various screenings of films. Got to go play test the newest Lego game at the Harry Potter studios, and like I went to go around the studios for free because they did that, gave me the game for free and stuff, and that was all really cool. Like it was good experience for me, and it helped me get opportunities in the future. But obviously my degree was in history, and then I got the masters in politics. But like I would also often advertise my YouTube channel on my CV. Like, I didn't give a shit. I was like, if you read my writing, it's not much different from my channel. So I say the main thing is, if you want to do like your politics degree, your history degree, your philosophy degree, your economics degree, your humanities degree, whatever, right? That's all fine. Like, do it if you want, because at the end of the day, there is a job market for graduates. But the thing is, if you want to specialize in your subject, get experience to go with your degree, because otherwise you're going to end up in an office job doing recruitment, doing sales, doing marketing, because that's what most grads go into. So in the UK, largely, you get your degree, you go to London, you get one of these jobs. Most people I know do these jobs that are completely unrelated to their degree, but it's just like a standard corporate office job where they want a degree to show your competence, basically. So yeah, my main advice, if you're going to go do a degree in something, get the experience for something you want. So like journalism is like adjacent to history and politics. So that's what I got my experience in, and that's what I had my job in the end. And like, even though I had a master's, I probably couldn't get a job. If you want to go work for a political organization, you're probably going to need like a big one. You're probably going to need a PhD, unless you can swing like some unpaid internship at like a major political party. Yeah, Black Brit. He tried to replace Hater with Kurt Russell in like Metal Gear 2. Do I consider myself a tanky? In my mind, even though I think tanky is a bit ridiculous as a concept, in my mind, a tanky is someone who simps for like Kim Jong-un, Mao, and Stalin, which I don't. But I guess some liberals might consider a tanky someone who likes Che Guevara and Ho Chi Minh, which I'm allowed to like if I want. Especially if you're allowed to like fucking, you're allowed to like, what's his name? George Washington. Sorry, what the fuck's that noise? One sec. My computer? Sorry, I'm just hearing a fucking weird noise on my computer. Alright, so I'm reading some more stuff. Alright, you guys talking about Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore completely sold out. Let's stop fooling ourselves about that guy. That's why he gets away with saying he looked up a woman's skirt and it was her fault. Yeah, exactly. If Jimmy Dore was a real leftist and his audience were leftist, they would probably be pretty outraged that he's bragging about sexual harassment at work. I've done a video about Jimmy Dore, Ollie Yang. You can go look at it. About how he's basically a nutcase. Made it in like January. Read some more. Yeah, Jimmy Dore's worse than that, Raxim, I think. James saying, I have a degree in creative writing and English literature. It's completely useless for your employment unless you know how to sell yourself, which I don't. Yeah, often just having a degree is just not enough these days. You just need... The thing is, all I advise, you can have anything. It can be like a blog. It can be like a YouTube channel. A good anecdote for you guys. I subscribed to these people, this couple, and they had a YouTube channel where they did games journalism, and it wasn't anything massive. Some videos did really well, like thousands of views. A lot of them got like 50 or something. And now she got a job at PC Gamer after doing that and freelance journalism, and now she works for IGN, and he works for somewhere good as well, right? And it's because they had that YouTube channel as like to prove they can do video editing, commentary, all this stuff. And although I think they both had history degrees as well, to show they could write. So that's what I'm saying. My biggest advice to someone, if you're in college right now about to go, most colleges have so many good opportunities for writing, radio, even TV. So just don't be lazy and make the most of it, because the most people in college just will do their course and then just go clubbing and drinking or just boozing all day, which you can do as well, but like just don't, you got 3 years there and there's a lot of good opportunities to help yourself later. So just go and do it. Vocal Procrastinating says, I went to a job centre group meeting and they straight up told us, lie as much as you can, back up. Great, thanks. Lie as much as you can. I would say don't ever lie in a job interview, but feel free to exaggerate stuff. But if you tell an outright lie, you're just running the risk of just being exposed, aren't you? Or like being asked to do something that you've said you can do and you can't do it. I feel so fucked because I got a specialist degree. Because getting hired is, well, I'll let you know if it happens and I'm underqualified for everything else. If it makes anyone feel better, I had to interview for jobs a year after I graduated with my master's, and it fucking sucked. And I got into the last two like 5 times and got passed over every single time, even for a job I really, really wanted, which I was pretty gutted about. So just don't give up with that stuff, even though it's really fucking tough. And also just full-time work is just the absolute worst thing in the fucking world. Like, I literally killed myself to keep this YouTube channel going when I was doing it. Like, I would still upload 2 times a week. And I'd barely sleep because I'd have football, I'd have to go to the gym and stuff. I'd sleep like 4 or 5 hours a night. And my days were so fucking long. So I'm glad I did it because it's helped me escape now. And, this 40k milestone means a lot to me in the sense that, like, it feels like I'm getting to a place where this is just hopefully going to be my career now. And, this month's ad revenue's been really good. The Patreon's grown really nicely over the last 2 weeks. I've actually last 2 months I've made way more money than I had at my old job, so that's good to show my parents, like, yeah, this stuff is a lot more lucrative than actually going up to fucking London and working a shite job. But yeah, like, it's like, I would say just even little things. If you want a job, there's so much extra you can do, really, is the main thing. Okay, is this my Switch or something? I'm hearing a really fucking weird sound. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Sorry, I don't know what's happening there. So I'm reading some more stuff. So I read some more shit. What does love feel like? Is that a serious question? Yeah, views equal ad money, basically. Thanks for the advice, Cab. Very helpful. Starting a new degree this semester, so I'll volunteer for my local party. Yeah, Jack. You know, whatever you think outside of your degree will help, definitely do that. I can't take volunteering for your local party is one good thing, but just anything you can say, because just remember, everyone who's going for the same job as you will have the degree. Like, that's just like the baseline. So you need more stuff. So just make the most of your time if you have it. Tanky culture, I feel like it's a bit more counterproductive. I just can't really bother to shit on something that is kind of irrelevant, whereas Nazism and like weeaboos and roadie boos, I think that's more like relevant and part of like racism and stuff. Yeah, James, that's another point. I was not lazy at uni, but I have mental health issues. Yeah, that's another thing people struggle with at uni a lot, and I guess that will like hurt you, obviously, wanting to go out and do other things, or motivation issues and shit like that. So I understand. I'm not really talking about people with mental health. I'm talking about just, people I lived with who just the absolutely most lazy people ever. Sorry, some more stuff. Education should be more accessible everywhere. It should also just be like better, like more diverse. I'm depressed that Corbyn lost a lot, because he was the only one proposing, like, yeah, teach how the Empire was really fucking evil. And they're like, oh, you hate Britain, blah, blah, blah. Zoe, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I know you're like a loyal follower. And, oh yeah, we follow each other on Instagram now as well. It's because when people have just like have the letters as their profile, I get confused who's who. But yeah, I remember now. We follow each other on Insta. So yeah, appreciate your support. So Keprel saying, I dream of studying so many things I'm interested in. I was told I couldn't study history for GCSE while I was good at it, because I didn't remember the numbers. Turns out I have a learning disability. Grade plus job shouldn't be the reason to learn. Yeah, exactly. Keprel, I'm interested in why numbers specifically. Like, I get numbers is important to history, like dates and shit, but like broadly, you don't need to know numbers that well for history. I'm sure you would have been good at it. I really need to understand how to use WordPress for blogging. Raxim, Medium is really good for blogging. It just looks really nice as well. Here, let me grab mine. So here's my Medium page. Let me just see. Do I have it here? Here, I'll get this up. So Raxim, this is my Medium if anyone wants to subscribe. But Medium looks really nice. Let me zoom out a bit. All right. So here's probably my most extensive one. So here's my review of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and like all these screenshots are my own screenshots. But I just think this, especially on mobile, this just looks very nice. Looks like very professional. You just like stick your little photos in there. So Raxim, 100% I'd recommend Medium if it's just so simple to use. You can actually make money off it as well. I think it's pretty crap, but like I used to have a WordPress, but I've privated it now. But yeah, because I just prefer this way more. Look, nice long article, and it just looks very nice. And there are my other articles down there. So yeah, recommend for sure. Look, my lovely face. Yeah, take some more comments. Oh, this mosquito, man. I can hear some buzzing. Sorry, Zoe. Yeah, it's definitely something's going weird. I have one more year of college. Any advice what to do with it? Right. In my final year, I joined the editorial team of the Entertainment magazine. I started my own radio station in the last term, like literally left the last term. And I think if it depends what you're interested in. I don't know what you're interested in. If you're interested in politics, I'd say write about politics. If you have a local paper, get involved. People are often like pretty helpful with this stuff. If you have a radio show and maybe you're interested in broadcast journalism, we had a TV station at our uni. It was really good. So I'd say you got a year left. We had a thing called the Bun Fight every September, where you just like have all the different societies come out and advertise themselves to new students, but obviously older students could go. So if you're doing that, just go out and have a look for what you're interested in. Like I said, I don't know what you want to be after uni, but if you got any like passing interest in something, try and join a society where you can do that stuff outside of the academic side. Black Brit saying, I'd like to start a YouTube, but I don't think I can live and die by the algorithm and can't structure my time. Yeah, the thing, if you want to do YouTube full time, you got to be super disciplined. And I've always been, like, at uni, I was good at this as well, like, really good at self-motivating and structuring my time really well. I would never be doing, like, an essay the night before. I'd give myself 2 weeks every essay. I'll be done, like, with 3 days left or something. But the thing is, it depends what you want out of YouTube. Like, for me, it wasn't always about having a career. It was just having people watch my stuff. Now it's more about, like, having a career out of it. But, you know, you can just record your voice and throw some pictures up. Like, the thing I would say for anyone who wants to do YouTube, you're probably going to look back one day and think your first video was crap. Even if it's not, to you, it might just be crap. So don't beat yourself up and just do it, because the only way you're ever going to get better is doing it. Because if you don't start, you're never going to get better. And just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just, you know, make one video, see how it goes. Don't even have to upload it. Do you know what I mean? Pump Action saying, I'm kind of surprised that your parents would need any convincing. It's more my mum is very old fashioned and she doesn't really understand the internet. Even she thinks my brother's YouTube is kind of like not a real job and shit like that. So my dad's fine. I'll talk about this as well. This is a special for you guys, so I trust you guys a bit more. Congrats on the 40k, Cav. Thanks so much, Johnson. Appreciate it. Sorry, someone's saying. Okay, the buzzing is not my computer. It's something else, apparently. I'll check it out afterwards. Alright, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Scott the Woz versus JonTron. Scott the Woz for sure. Wait, I'm sorry, this is very annoying. I'm just listening. What is this? Okay, it's not me. I just closed the window. It's not me. Alright, we're going to leave the windows closed for a bit. Alright, last 10 minutes or so. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're not taught the British Empire is like a great thing, but we are taught like it in a weird way, to be honest. No, I don't think Brexit will kill the British Empire. I would love to see other countries leaving the Commonwealth, so that'd be cool. Yeah, that's a good point. James saying he has a problem with numbers, teaching history about consequence type stuff. I think that's better as well. I don't think numbers are that as important for history. Yeah, Keprel, dates and names, especially when you're doing your degree, you might be a bit screwed in an exam, for example, but most of it isn't exams. It's more just essays that you can look at the numbers in front of you. Double A, you can read Che Guevara's War Diary, which is pretty good. It's pretty honest, to be honest. It talks about like executing someone. It just talks about war. Am I listening to Kanye's new album? I only like Kanye West's songs when he collabs with Bon Iver. Yeah, Raxin, Medium is great. For sure, check it out. Yeah, Keprel, I wouldn't recommend anyone party away your first year, but you do need only 40% to pass, so I got a second in my history degree and my masters, but I got 64 in my degree and I got 69 in my masters, which is annoying because 70 is the top grade. So, what does the Kavernacle mean? Does your stash ever try to unite with the beard, and how do you cope with that? It actually is more now. I think in a couple of years it will. Basically, I'm getting a lot more hair there on both sides, so I think it actually will connect if I let it. The Kavernacle, basically, because I'm like ex-Catholic, tabernacle obviously is in a church. Cav is like part of my second name, so replace Cav with instead of Tab, you got the Kavernacle. Great name though. I came up with it walking home from uni one day when I was trying to think of a name for my radio show, but it was so good I was like, I'm keeping that for my YouTube channel. I'm not using it for a radio show. Do I think Northern Ireland will unite with the rest of Ireland? Yeah, I think they will one day because of Brexit, for example, is a big thing, but also the Catholic population is growing and obviously leans more Republican, while the Protestant population who leans more Unionist is shrinking. And the Republican Party is actually the second biggest in Northern Ireland now. So I think in the next 20 years, the North will join with the South again. So I'm hopeful. Yeah, I didn't watch the Charlie Kirk and Vosh debate, just too long. Sorry. Do I like Transformers? The first one was good, movie. The rest was bad. My degree is like 8% exams. Yeah, my degree was like 60% essays, 40% exams. The exams were a joke though. I think YouTube terrifies me because I already do art Patreon shit and it took me like 7 years of grinding to get £80. I can't imagine me starting and grinding again. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're in YouTube for the long haul, you just got to be prepared for the long haul. Like for me, I've been doing it properly for like, I've been banging it out for 2 years. I've been doing it for over 3. So yeah, you've got to be prepared for that. I have a fan going, there's no buzzer. Is it the mosquito? Be a sociology major so you can become a grifter gamer bro narcissist streamer like Vosh. Sociology, like, those things are interesting and stuff. Never really appealed to me in school, but I could have done them. Okay, you're watching on your TV. Any advice on planning a YouTube video? I'm probably not the best person for doing this. My advice, like, so for example, I plan my YouTube videos in this, but unless I'm doing a massive video, like for example, this is my video on Anita Sarkeesian, and it's very long notes, right? But then alternatively, that's my notes for conservatives thinking Captain America isn't woke. It's 3 fucking bullet points. For me, Keprel, all I'd say is you're not above a Ben Shapiro video. That's my best advice to anyone aspiring to be a leftist YouTuber. You're not above a Ben Shapiro video. You're not above a Praga U video. You're not above a Dave Rubin video. Like, as much as you think you are. Because the thing I always say to people, so like my stuff's on screen right now, right? A lot of this stuff is obviously got the aesthetics of like a like a reaction video or something. But what I always say to people is like my video specifically, my message and politics in the video are there, but you've got to use the skin of what's popular really. And you've got to make something marketable, and that's what you've got to realize. If you want to grow a YouTube channel, you've got to realize it's a market, and that sounds kind of shitty, but you've got to realize if you want to make what you want one day, you've got to play the game, especially if you want people watching, right? So all these things I make videos on, I am interested in them. For example, like I do like making videos on this stuff, but yeah, let's think of one video, for example. If we talk about a skin, okay, so we got this Abby Shapiro loves Bioshock and Red Dead, right? So that's the title. Now the hook for your average viewer is Abby Shapiro, right? Everyone knows who Abby Shapiro is, Ben Shapiro's sister. That's your hook. But the video isn't actually. It is about Abby Shapiro, but it's also about conservatism in general. Then here's probably a better example for you, like Gal Gadot's history of endorsing Israeli war crimes versus Natalie Portman calling Israel racist, right? That's another video. So that's the skin of the video. That's why people will click. Do they like Natalie Portman or Gal Gadot? Do they have a strong opinion on them? But in the actual video, I'm really talking about Israel-Palestine and giving my point of view on it. But the skin of the video is these two, and while I talk about them, that's the vehicle I'm using to get my views across. So why I say that to people, like, yeah, sure, like I have a video here. It literally just is about Ukrainian neo-Nazis, right? That's the subject. That's what I talk about. It's pretty upfront about, I'm pretty upfront about what the video is, whereas other things are skins for me to talk about what I want. So I think that's what people need to realize, is that you can't just be like, you can't become a successful YouTuber without playing a marketing game. So that means make good thumbnails, make not clickbait in the sense that it's misleading, but make titles. The best thing I'd say, make titles that someone can read and then comment about, because they'll do that anyway, and that's engagement for you. So I could probably write like a whole article about how to become like a moderately successful YouTuber. But yeah, you're not above, like a lot of bread tubers, not a lot of left wing people who don't make YouTube are like, oh, another crap video about the X and Y. You should go join your local anarchist organization. I've had that shit a lot. And it's like, no, it's like, I'm playing this marketplace game to get my views across, because YouTube is a market. We're all competing for people's time. And if you want to be heard, you've got to play this game to some extent. I'm not selling out, right? I like all this stuff. I would talk about all this stuff anyway, but I'm being smart in the way I'm marketing it. Otherwise, no one's going to watch my stuff, right? So like, you've got to, you can be principled and genuine, which I feel like I am with my content. You've also got to be smart as well about how you market stuff. And like I said, you're not above a Ben Shapiro video. You're not above a Steven Crowder video. You're not above this stuff. So don't think you are. No one's above it. I read some more comments. I think I got to go soon because my brother has work tomorrow and he's next door. Can you please say chocolate orange? Chocolate orange. Sigma as AF. I always say as AF to piss people off. My niche market of people who want to watch Marxist readings of Shadow the Hedgehog. To be honest, I think that would do good, to be honest, because it has the what the fuck factor. Like my neo-Nazi bronies and furries videos. It's a hooking method, yeah, exactly. Cornering the market. Well, everyone has their niches. Like, my niche is probably like weird fascist subcultures and maybe like internet history, for example. Do I think I can make to 100k by the end of the year? No way I'm getting 100k by the end of the year. I'd be lucky to get 50k by the end of the year. That's what I'm aiming for. I was aiming for 45, but then I hit 40k pretty quick. So yeah, 50k by the end of the year, 100k by the end of next year. I would like, but let's see how it goes. I might really stagnate. You never know what's going to happen, really. Yeah, Fishman, I really appreciate you saying that. Marxist anarchist reading of Sonic. I've got I want to make a video next week about how Twilight was racist against native people. So congratulations, thanks so much. When is my Blizzard video going up? Tomorrow. It was going to be tonight, but I wanted to stream instead. I want to make a video essay on Disney Toontown online being socialist, but I've been overwhelmed with real life. Just make sure you get around to it one day. I wouldn't put any pressure on yourself. Yeah, I want independence for all those countries too, Wrexham. Twilight was so racist. Yeah, it was. Alright, any more comments? Yeah, Umar, I don't think I'll hit 100k. I would love to though, but I don't think I will. Yeah, I'll be tackling racism in Twilight as a native person. Yeah, I definitely will. I actually saw a big thread on it the other day, and I just like, yeah, that's a video for me to make. Is my content meant to be pop culture centric? I wouldn't say so. People have accused me of that before, but let's have a look. For example, let's see. But this can do the last thing we do. So pop culture, right? So we got pop culture. I guess I got Disney being anti-communist. So let's say that's one. Captain America 2. Gamers, is that pop culture? Okay, let's say that's pop culture. 3. Then we got 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe, yeah, I'd say it's like a third pop culture, but then it depends what you mean by pop culture. Like, is the Elon Musk Grimes video pop culture? Like, I wouldn't say it is, but like, is it because it's like, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. I just make whatever I feel like, to be honest. Like, if it fits into a certain mold, I just make whatever I feel like. But yeah, I do have my little niches. Sorry, I'm getting up my chat again. Sorry. Twilight Princess, Twilight. Yeah. Gotta go. Congrats on the chocolate orange. Thanks so much, Kepril. Enjoyed your comments today. Dire circumstances. I've been subscribed to you for a while now, and I remember when your channel got demonetized after you quit your job. I was really rooting for you to keep going and succeed. I'm glad you stuck around. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a shitty time. Thank you, the quartering, for setting your fans on me. Yeah, Melon. I wouldn't say every video is window dressing, but it's like it's a shell, and it's something I talk about, but I'm pushing politics, a lot. There's no shame in pop culture, Andy Warhol. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. People get a bit butthurt about it though. All right, so we've done about an hour and a half. Appreciate you guys all for coming in the stream today. I might stream at the weekend as well. A new video tomorrow talking about Activision Blizzard being run by war criminals, and I'm not joking. But yeah, just want to say I'm probably going to edit this video and upload it on Saturday on my own channel. Yeah, Kennedy, I'm going anyway, so. But yeah, thanks for sticking around. Kennedy has been around for like 2 years now, which is great. We got to organise when I come on Bad Practice later this month as well. But yeah, thanks so much for being subscribed to my channel, the views and the comments. Thanks to the people who donated tonight. Really appreciate it. And yeah, that's Raxon. That's interest about vampires as well. That's probably something to make a video on as well. But yeah, thanks so much for watching the stream, subscribing, everything like that. New video tomorrow, and yeah, have a good weekend. One more thing is someone at IGN replied to me because I was calling Xbox Games Pass Normie Pass. He's super chill, but I messaged him afterwards because he actually said he watched my videos and he was disappointed I was being like a low effort troll. So Normie Station 5 and Normie Pass. If you're not a true gamer, that's what you play. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Next stream, and yeah, if you ever want to talk to me about anything specific, Instagram and Discord messages are the best way to contact me since I've closed my Twitter DMs for now. But yeah, Prem predictions: Man United first, Man City second, Liverpool fifth, Leicester third, Chelsea fourth. I don't know. I want Man U to win. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and